Hey, what's good? Hey, listen, what I want to talk to you about is going to seem counterintuitive in the very beginning. I mean, it might not make sense. It might not seem like this is the right thing to do. But once you understand what I'm talking about, and once you do it, it's going to help you go further, faster in whatever it is that you want to do. Help you get over procrastination, hesitation, fears, and things like that. And it'll be your doing, because you know how I roll. I want to have you do something that you help yourself. Something that I call being comfortable with being uncomfortable. What does that mean? What it means is uncomfortableness is the way of life. As a matter of fact, it is the way we grow. It's the way every living thing on this planet grows. It's the way the planet grows, if you will. Stress, uncomfortableness, when it happens, that means it's a signal that something's getting ready to expand from it. You, just as a human being, our entire system, our cells get uncomfortable. They grow, and it's almost violent, and then it grows into two cells. Just the process of elimination in our cells. If you got to pee, you get uncomfortable for a moment, and then you release. That uncomfortable means it's time for you to grow. It's time for you to do something, and then you feel better. And that's the way that it is. Everything in life, animals, everything in life. And so whenever you want to do anything at all, and for most of us, it's going to involve being uncomfortable. I don't care whether it's practicing something, whether it is going to the gym and doing something, whether it's picking up the phone call and calling somebody, or whatever it is in your life. When uncomfortableness shows up, the tendency of human beings is, because we're designed to move away from pain, the tendency of human beings is to move away from it, is to find something else. That's how it makes us procrastinate. That's what makes us make excuses. And that's what makes us do something else. And I'm going to use the example of, like, let's just say you want to lose some weight, or you want to get a better body, you want to get healthier. And you know you got to go to the gym. But you've been working all day, and you don't feel good already. But now it's time to go to the gym, and you go, I just don't want to do it today. That's your uncomfortable moment. And in that moment, here's what happens. You got a choice. You know that. You always have a choice to snap yourself out of it, or to go do something else, and go procrastinate. And all too often, too many times, we fall into those habits, those kind of things. But here's what I want you to do. First off, recognition is always the first step. Acknowledgement is always the first step. Acknowledge that, yeah, this doesn't feel good in that moment. I don't like this. You've acknowledged it, and then I want you to get comfortable with it. I'm going to tell you how you get comfortable with it. And what I mean by that is, first off, you got to recognize that because of, just like I said before, anything that you want in your life, anything that you want that is worth having, that you got to grow to get, is going to involve uncomfortableness, and recognize it in that moment. So you got to acknowledge it. And yes, I'm uncomfortable, but then you got to also acknowledge that what you're going to get from it. If I get over this uncomfortableness and I just go do it anyway, then I'm going to get this. I'm going to get the better body. I'm going to make more money. I'm going to do this, that kind of thing. But here's how you do this. The second piece. For number one, recognize that you're uncomfortable. When uncomfortableness comes up, you got to snap yourself out of it. You got to use what I call the staple of the neurosciences. And what that is something called a pattern interrupt. You've heard me talk about it before. A pattern interrupt is when you snap yourself out of it. The pattern interrupt is when something, like you're talking on the phone, and you hear a beep or whatever, a tone, and that means there's somebody else on the other line, and you go, okay, wait a minute. You're having a conversation. You go, wait a minute, I'll be right back. And you go to this other line. You go, hey, listen, I'm talking to somebody else on the other line. I'll be right back with you. And then you go back to that other person. You can't remember what you're talking about. Well, your pattern got interrupted because you were in a pattern of thought. In a pattern of even your physical body. You were thinking, you were focused on this, and all of a sudden something happened, you snap yourself out of it. But what happens is three things happen when that pattern interrupt happens. Number one, you're no longer where you were. In other words, even if you're in the worst state like that, something like snaps you out of it, you're no longer in that state, even if it's just for a moment. The second thing happens is it creates a space. It creates confusion. It creates uncertainty in that moment. It creates what I call a vacuum. It's in technically that's called a scotoma, and it's this blank spot, and you're going, what? Even if it's just for a moment. The third thing is that blank spot, it's a vacuum, and that means it's your opportunity to put anything else that you want in there. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to find something, the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to make a list of everything that makes you uncomfortable, that you know you need to do, that you're going to grow from. Remember, writing invites. If you don't, you won't. So write it down. Do this. Write it down. Write down. Here's a list of the things that make me uncomfortable, that I know I need to do, that I'm going to get a result. Number two, next to that list, you're going to go, what are you going to get as a result of doing it anyway? the better body, making money, whatever. Those things that I always use as low-hanging fruit examples. You're going to write that down. And then you're going to experience it. Don't wait for it to happen. Experience it. Think about going to the gym, even if you don't have to go. Think about going to the gym. And when you do, and that feeling starts to come over, stop and shake yourself out. Go, yes, snap yourself. You're going to just shake yourself. You're going to seem a little schizophrenic in the very beginning, but remember, you're going to be the therapist that helps you snap yourself out of it. And in that moment, when you're in that moment going, okay, what just happened? Just put a smile on your face and go, yes. And then read what you're going to get, yes. And then imagine yourself with that better body. Imagine yourself with that money. Imagine yourself with whatever it is that you're going to get, that you're going to grow from. That new house, that new car, whatever it is that you got to do. Because your brain can't tell the difference between what's real and what's not when you imagine it. It just can't. And do this over and over again. Remember this. You've heard me say it before, that your body and your brain cannot resist repetition. You do it over and over again, then guess what? The very thing that caused you to be uncomfortable is going to be the thing that causes you to get excited. You wonder why there's some people that don't hesitate when it's time to go work out or go do these things. It's because somewhere along the line, this happened. Now, you can make it happen much faster and much deeper. And these are the things that we do on our calls and things like that, on our mentoring calls and things like that. But you can do this as well. Just do it over and over and over again. Then pretty soon it'll become who you are. Listen, the name of the game is you are your own therapist. You are your own mentor. You are your own coach, and you can do it just with simple exercises. So get comfortable with being uncomfortable. List it. Write down what you're going to get from on the other side of that uncomfortableness. Experience it. And by the way, I don't mean wait for it to happen. I mean experience it in the moment. Think about it in the moment. I call it a preemptive strike. And then when it happens, snap yourself out of it. Put a smile on your face, because when you put a smile on your face, you're literally releasing awesome sauce inside your system. And those chemicals and those endorphins and dopamines go into your system and reward you for having caught yourself. Which, by the way, I didn't say this. You are not rewarding yourself and getting excited about being uncomfortable. You're getting excited about catching yourself being uncomfortable. You're getting excited about, oh, I caught myself. I was being uncomfortable. I was getting ready to make an excuse. I was getting ready to be a little bitch, whatever. Catch yourself doing it and get excited because you caught yourself. Your nervous system is going to go, that's great, and you're going to keep on doing it. So remember this, life is exactly what you dare to make it. Fortune favors the bold. These little things that I'm teaching what to do, if you just do them, you're going to get some results. I look forward to serving you even more. I'll see you at the top. I'm out.